Hi students, this is your Janardhan sir. Okay, hope you all fine. And today, apart from social studies, we are going to discuss the first unit, that is India relief features. That means the relief features of India. See, quite different. Features are different. Future is different. Future in the sense time. Next. Features are nothing but variations, specifications. Okay, so that what we are going to speak India and its relief features. So for that, let me tell you. So that is we take India map. I may not draw beautifully, but you have to assume. You have to make an assumption here. So like that is. So that is India map. Okay. Right. So here it is northern part, south and west and east. Right. Okay. So mainly this is the boundaries of India. The boundaries of India is this, and the country is located in Asia, the continent called Asia, and overall 7 continents were there. Overall 7 continents were there. In earlier days, it was said that for suppose we are going for background. We are going for background. So that is, So see here, right? If it is a globe, right? In earlier days, it was like this. For suppose, so this is 2 land masses were there. 2 land masses were there. So this is nothing but Pangaea, motherland, it is called as motherland, and this is Panthalassa. This is Panthalassa. This is called as Panthalassa. Panthalassa is nothing but baby line. It is called as baby line because it is surrounded. Panthalassa is surrounded by Pangaea. But according to the histories, according to the research, ago 200 million years, broadly there were 2 major land masses, and at the same time those were also called as giant land masses. So the giant land masses are nothing but, the first one is Angara landmass, Angara landmass, or Angara lines also called as Laurasia lines. Is also called as Laurasia lines. So that is the concept you need to remember. Yes. So Angara or Laurasia lines. And the second one, that is Gondwana lines. That is Gondwana lines. So these were 2 giant lines. Giant means broader, larger, bigger. Okay, that was divided into Angara and Gondwana lines. Well, in this case, let me come back to our lesson, that is India and its relief features. India and its relief features. Relief in the sense elevated places, upper surface of the earth. Upper surface of the earth. That might be hills, mountains, Himalayas, rivers, seas, oceans, whatever it may be. These all are situated or located on the upper surface of the earth. Upper surface of the earth. So about those things we are going to discuss, and those things were related to India, and that is nothing but geography. So we are going to see the Indian geography. Yes, the study of the things or the things upon the earth's surface is called as geography, or the study of interior of the earth. The study of exterior of the earth's surface is called as geography, and the study of interior of the earth is called as geology. So according to our lesson, we are going to read the Indian geography. We are going to see the Indian geography. So here broadly around 200 million years ago, broadly the earth was divided into Angara landforms and Gondwana landforms. So here Angara landform is also called as Laurasian landforms, and it is also said as Eurasian plate. Angara landforms is also called as Eurasian plates. Don't think European plate. It is not related to Europe. It is, the name of that landform is Eurasian plate. Okay, so that is situated on the northern part of India. Eurasian plate is divided the Gondwana lines from the north. So here in this region the Eurasian plate will be, and from here the Gondwana line. From north Gondwana lines will be, and up on that Eurasian plate will be, that is nothing but Angara lines. That is called as Angara lines. So mostly we are going to see the major relief features, the major features of India. Apart from that, we are going to see the Himalayas. What is that? The Himalayas. So let me see here the major relief features. Among those relief features, we are going to see the Himalayas. So let me read the geography of India from north to south. Okay, when we start reading geography of India is from north to south is nothing but on northern part, the first and foremost thing we need to read about the Himalayas. So that is, the first thing is the Himalayas. That is the Himalayas. Okay. So see here, just try to understand. Listen very carefully, because it was the situation. It is somewhat zigzag way. So you need to understand very carefully. So the Himalayas were started here on the north, and it came in this way. Okay, the Himalayas elongated towards the east. Himalayas were extended towards the east. From north, the region, if ever the region of Himalayas. So the region of Himalayas is nothing but north to east. That means the Himalayas have started in the North India and ended at east of India. That means they started at north and ended at east. That was the thing we know. But the direction of the Himalayas, see here, direction in the sense is nothing but west to east, west-east. So it is the western part of the Himalaya. If you go to the direction of Himalayas, it is north, it is said to be north, south, west and east of Himalayas. The same time here different countries were lying, China and Tibet and Bhutan, and here Myanmar. So different countries were lying, that is not an issue. Okay, so the direction of the Himalayas west to east, and the region of Himalayas, northeast region, and here side by Nepal, in between us Nepal. Okay, so this is the situation. When in this situation we are going to see the Himalayas. First we are going to discuss about the Himalayas. Okay, just follow your text. Okay, that is we are going to discuss the major relief divisions. Yes, the Himalayas. Okay, so the length of the Himalayas, from north to south, the direction west to east, the total length of the Himalayas is nothing but what is that? 2,400 kilometers. Yes, the Himalayas. The total length of the Himalayas is from west to east. That means the region north to east. So it was about 2,400 kilometers. That is very clear. That means that is the length. That is the length from here to E. Okay. Now we discuss the width. The width of the Himalayas. What is the width of the Himalayas? The width of the Himalayas at western part is nothing but is called as 500 kilometers. So width, you know what is the width here? So this is the width. So this is nothing but 500 kilometers, and the total length from west to east, that is nothing but 2,400 kilometers, and the width of the Himalayas at a central and eastern part is nothing but the width is 200 kilometers. Okay, 200 kilometers. And here mainly these Himalayas were classified or divided into, three valleys. So see here, let me see according to the text that these ranges, according to the Himalayas, for suppose, so this is the range. This is the ranges of Himalayas. So this is, in this way these were situated. So here we have three ranges of Himalayas. So these Himalayas were divided into three ranges. The first part is western part and central part. Western part of Himalaya, central part of Himalaya, and eastern part of Himalaya. Okay, the western part of Himalayas are called as Greater Himalayas. What were those? Greater Himalayas, Central Himalayas, and Lesser Himalayas. Okay, so that is, let me discuss about the western part of the Himalayas. Those were called as Greater Himalayas. So what were the Greater Himalayas? Just listen here. So that the first part is, or the western part, that is the Greater Himalayas. The Greater Himalayas were located on the west of the Himalayas, not west side, north of India and west of the total Himalayas. Okay, so see here, the average height of higher Himalayas or Greater Himalayas are also called as Himadri. At the same time, the average height of these Himalayas, that means, for suppose here in this we have different kinds of Himalayas. For suppose, let me think here. So if this is a region of Himalayas, here we have the heights varies like this. So this is the Greater Himalayas. So in Greater Himalayas, the average height, so here some Himalayas were having 7,000 kilometers. Some were having, the topmost height is nothing but 8,400 meters. 8,400 meters equals to 8.4 kilometers. At the same time, somewhere having just only like 1,000 meters, and somewhere having 500 meters. So like that. The average height of the Greater Himalayas is nothing but 6.1 kilometers. Yes, 6.1 kilometers. At the same time, see here. So it is decided as Greater Himalayas. And then Greater Himalayas are also composed of snow and ice covered. You find glaciers here. The seasonal cycles of accumulation of ice, movement and melting of glaciers are the sources of the perennial rivers. The portion of the range found to the south of the Greater Himalayas is called as Lesser Himalayas. Yes, the portion of the range found to the south of the Greater Himalayas is also called as Lesser Himalayas, which has the most rugged relief. These ranges are mainly composed of highly compressed rocks. The height ranges from 3,700 to 4,500 meters. Okay, so mainly Himalayas are classified into Greater Himalayas and Lesser Himalayas. Okay, so the Greater Himalayas height varies, and the average height is 6.1 kilometer. Okay, so this is the higher part of the Himalayas, and this is the northern part of the Himalayas. Okay, so the southern part of the Himalayas, the southern part of the Himalayas is called as Lesser Himalayas. It's called as Lesser Himalayas. The average height of Lesser Himalayas is nothing but the southern part of the Himalayas are called as Lesser Himalayas, and their average height is nothing but it varies from 3.7 to 4.5 kilometers. 3.7 to 4.5 kilometers, and at the same time the composition, that means the Himalayas were covered with, the Greater Himalayas were covered with glaciers, the accumulation of ice, accumulation of snow. It's ultimately accumulation of snow is going to turn as ice, and if that ice is in large extent, then it is said to be a glacier. It's called as a glacier. For suppose we have ice in our refrigerator, then that is called as a small ice cube, that is an ice cube itself. If such ice cubes are some hundreds of meters and some kilometers, then that particular ice block is called as glacier. It's called as glaciers. So mostly the northern part of the Himalayas are covered with the glaciers. That gives the perennial rivers. We are having perennial rivers from the Himalayas. All the three perennial rivers, Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra, we'll discuss in our fourth lesson, that is Indian river system, water resources and Indian river system. We'll discuss over there. So the three perennial rivers, they're starting from Himalayas. Perennial means, what is the meaning of perennial rivers? Yes, the meaning of perennial river is nothing but the river which has a continuous flow round the clock, 360 degrees. The river which has continuous flow of water throughout the year are called as perennial rivers. Then what are peninsular rivers? The rivers which are starting in peninsula, like Western Ghats. The rivers which are starting from Western Ghats are called as peninsular rivers. Okay, at the same time, the rivers which are starting from north and Himadri, like Greater Himalayas or the place called Himadri, those rivers are called as perennial rivers. They are called as perennial rivers. So see here. So these Greater Himalayas are composed of glaciers and These are composed with hard rocks, because these are at the southern part of the Himalayas. Hard rocks are at southern part of the Himalayas. Not only that, the lesser Himalayas ranges consist of famous valleys: Kashmir Valley, Kangra, Kulu in Himachal Pradesh. This region is well known for many hill stations like Shimla, Mussoorie, Nainital, Ranikhet, and are covered by evergreen forests. Okay, and not only that, these lesser Himalayas are having different hill stations like Kulu Manali and Nainital and Ranikhet, and you can see here Kashmir Valley. Yes, so these all are these, even though these are lesser Himalayas, because of these lesser Himalayas, they are having hill stations. They are having hill stations, and those were covered with evergreen forest. Evergreen forest. What is the meaning of evergreen forest? Evergreen forests are nothing but around the year, throughout the year, those forests are having greenery. There is no death of those trees. The leaves will not be end. That means some trees will lose their leaf. At the same time, some other trees will having new leaves. So if ever the forest looks in a greenery, if ever the forest is having greenery, okay, that is nothing but evergreen forests. Then what is the reason for being evergreen forest at that region? Because the plants or the trees are having surplus amounts of water. Because the region was very cold and water yielding place. So that's the reason it has evergreen forest that the Himalayas, lesser Himalayas has. See, the southernmost range of Himalayas are also called as Shivaliks. Shivaliks extended over a width of 10 to 50 kilometers and have an altitude varying from 900 to 1100 meters. These ranges are called of different names in different regions. Jammu Hills in Jammu region, Mishmi Hills in Arunachal Pradesh, Kachar in Assam, and this part consists of thick gravel and alluvium. The valleys lying between the lesser Himalayas and Shivalik ranges are called as dunes, and Devra dunes, Kotli dune, and some of the dunes. So, and what happened, yes, the southernmost range. So see here, for suppose, as we said that the southern part of the Himalayas is called as lesser Himalayas. The southernmost is nothing but the foothills. Foothills are nothing but, if for suppose it is a Himalaya, this is the northern part and this is the southern part. For suppose, try to concentrate. If it is a Himalaya, then it is a equator. What is that? It is an equator. Equator in the sense which makes equal half. So from equator, it is the northern part and it is the southern part. This southern part is called as Shivaliks. Yes, for suppose, so these are the Himalayas. So if it is at the surface, okay. So if we take that this is the middle point, and this region is nothing but southern region, and it is northern region, and this is nothing but greater Himalayas. Yes, and it also called as Himadri, and this region is called as what is this name? Lesser Himalayas. It's called as lesser Himalayas. Now we are going to speak about the southernmost Himalayas. Southernmost Himalayas are nothing but, see here, you can see, if I am right, so for your understanding, for your clarity, yes. So southernmost are nothing but the foothills or the foothills will be like this, very small, very smaller. Okay, so these are the foothills. These are called as shivaliks. Shivaliks. Here, to touch some Himalayas will touch here the southern part. Okay, so the maximum average height of this southern Himalayas is nothing but, the maximum height of this greater Himalayas is nothing but, that is 6,100 kilometers, and the maximum height of this southern Himalayas is nothing but 3.7 to 4.5 kilometers. That is 3.7 to 4.5 kilometers. At the same time, now we are talking about the foothills. Foothills, shivaliks are also called as foothills. Right? These are also called as foothills. Now, the maximum height of these foothills is nothing but, that is 0.9 to 1.1 kilometers. 1.1 kilometers. At the same time, the width of these shivaliks, so the width of these shivalik foothills, okay, foothills are nothing but the very low lying area of the hills. The very low lying area of the hills. So, the width of these foothills is nothing but 10 to 50 kilometers. 10 to 50 kilometers. Sometimes here the region between this southern Himalayas or lesser Himalayas and this shivaliks are called as dunes. Dunes are nothing but dunes. What are dunes, Amma? The region between lesser Himalayas and that is shivaliks. Shivaliks are nothing but foothills. Are called as dunes. Okay, so the region between the shivaliks and the lesser Himalayas are called as dunes, and these dunes were called with different names in different regions. For suppose in Jammu Kashmir, these were called with the dunes starts like Jammu Hills. These were called as Jammu Hills, and the region like Arunachal Pradesh, it is Mishme Hills, and in Assam it is called as Kashar Hills. So these were the different hills. The dunes were in different states like Dehradun, Kotli Dune. Okay, these shivaliks, the names of the shivaliks is in Jammu Hills and Mishme Hills in Arunachal Pradesh, and in Assam those were called as Kashar Hills. So that is the name of the shivaliks, because foothills touches the states. Foothills touches the states, and the region, the dunes in different states called with different dunes like Dehradun, Kotli Dune in different states called as different dunes. The easternmost boundary of the Himalayas is the Brahmaputra Valley in Arunachal Pradesh beyond the Tihang Valley. Okay, so the easternmost, about this easternmost we discuss in our next class. Until then, just revive your text. Okay, then we have completed. Today came across. The remaining session will be discussed in the next session, the remaining class. So just do remember Himalayas and different kinds of Himalayas, greater Himalayas and lesser Himalayas, and the foods of the Himalayas are nothing but shivaliks. So Himalayas are having three ranges. First range of Himalayas are nothing but greater Himalayas. Mid range of Himalayas are nothing but lesser Himalayas, and the foothills and the bottommost Himalayas are nothing but what were those? Shivaliks. Those were nothing but Shivaliks.